welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a state of the collection. I'm going to break it down in 2 or 3 parts maybe. There's that many watches, so I'm going to break it down into category. The first one we're looking at today is my Quartz collection. So this should be short and sweet as I don't have that many Quartz watches, and this is off the back of me getting myself a new watch box. So these are the couple of drawers from it, so I'll be filling these up as I go along as well, and just kind of transferring that collection across. So this part does give me just a bit of anxiety because it lets you know how many pieces you actually have and that you need to sell them, but then you don't want to sell them. So it's one of those ones. I have shifted like 2-3 pieces, honestly. I did try to shift about 10, but that really was not possible. So here we are, guys. I have, I think, 11 Quartz watches I have in my collection. So I'm going to take you through them all one by one and talk just a little bit about them. So the Quartz watch journey for me, when I started off my watch journey initially, I started off with Quartz watches until I got to learn enough. I went to my first automatic, etc., and then it just quickly spiraled and snowballed. I'm sure everyone watching can relate. So some of these Quartz watches I've kept from the early days. Most of them I did sell, to be honest. And then as I started to learn more about Seiko, I got particular Quartz watches, which kind of represent something to me. They're quite significant. They've got bags of character. That's one of the main things for me after looking at a watch, and which is one of the reasons why I love Seiko. And when it comes to the Quartz watch game, the character was, back in the day, right? It's been lost since then. A lot of the Quartz watches are very basic, very similar looking. They don't really do much for me except maybe the odd one. And they also, again, overpricing a lot of the Quartz watches. If you look at the new speed timer that they released, the reissue, 450, £500 for what? A solo movement, which is in these watches. It's in a few of the watches that they have. So for me, that was not justified, which is why I never got myself one. Plus, I felt the sizing was off. Great looking watch, but just not for me. So let's start off top. Yeah, right. So the first one actually is not even a Seiko, it's a Parnis. You know what watch is homaging, and this goes back to the early days of the channel. You can still see the video, it's up on YouTube. The reason I kept this is because of that black bezel and that mint dial combination. I do wear this from time to time just purely because of that color. And it's such a nice color. I don't really care what it says on the dial. I did replace the bracelet because Parnis, even till now, they do a very horrible clasp. I don't know why they do it. It's meant to scar people because it's got some jagged teeth on either side. It's absolutely awful. The worst clasp I've seen. Okay, but anyway, this was an aftermarket, just a standard bracelet you can get from AliExpress anyway. And I've held on to this because where it's not worth selling because you won't get a lot for it at all. But I'd rather keep it because it's been well over 2 years, still ticking away. It's Mecha Quartz, very accurate, and like I said, that it just comes back to the dial. So I'll put this one away. Next one, and again, these are in no particular order. I'll keep my newest purchases to one side, and then we'll talk about the others. So one of the watches which I got was one of these. It's a Flight Master style watch. It's a flight computer, as you can see. It's got all the numbers, super busy dial. This one has actually run out of battery. It's a solar powered watch, and it lasted me for a very long time. I just don't wear this anymore. These are very rare now. I barely see them on sale on eBay, etc. So I need to replace the capacitor, which I have coming in. But there's certain things which I like about it, and I said it's that character for me. It's a bi-directional, friction bezel. It's a very nice dial, again solar powered, and when I had it running, it ran for such a long time. And of course, one of the main things about this watch is the pushers. They look absolutely crazy on this watch. Again, very much in character. This is when Seiko was still doing things at the box. The pushes are very positive, very nice to click. So yeah, lovely watch, nice crown. It's got some really nice features. Even the bracelet isn't too bad. It's a H-link bracelet. Now for a solar pilot watch, just look at that hefty watch, and still looks good. But I'm actually going to sell this once I do repair it because it's not something which I want to hold on to any longer than I have to now, to be honest. It just needs a new battery and then it can be up for sale. Now, while I talk about these watches, if you need to know any particular model, if you want to try and search it out yourself, let me know in the comment section, please. I'll go back through them and find you the model number, etc. So we'll put that one to the side. Now coming back to something similar, another flight style chronograph. This is again something quite unique. It's quite large. I think it's around the 45mm mark, but it's very compact on the lug to lug, as you can see, and it fits great. Now they did come on a bracelet, however the one I got was on a leather strap, so I used my own. Again, doesn't get much wear. initially it did, but the battery is still ticking away. I'll stay on top of the battery changes in these. I've only changed it once since I bought this watch about 2-3 years ago. And then again, some of the things for me which I really find unique is the pusher at the top. Yeah, and I think people have compared this to like a Breitling, in terms of some of the designs you can see. For me, it's like a stopwatch function really, which is what I liked about it. You reset that, that's the sweep I was talking about, and it's got a very nice sort of tulip or onion crown right there. Yeah, very nice screw down crown as well. And then you've got your internally rotating compass. Now, I did a very long time ago look into how these things work. It's very complex, guys, and I'm never going to do it, so I didn't bother trying to work anything out. But it's also got alarm function on there as well. So there's a lot of complications on offer from Seiko. And this is definitely going to be a keeper because it just looks so great, and you can't get your hands on these as often as you'd like, so it's definitely one just to have in the box. It's not doing any harm, and I bought this well over 2 years ago. So talking about complications, I really like this one. This one, it was so cheap. I believe up to about a year and a half ago, it was still being sold. I've got a review on this on my YouTube channel, and what I love about this is just the sheer complications and the actual design of it. So in the review, I go through like all the things that you see with regards to the dial. It's multi-layered. It's got these impressive facets for hour markers. The dial is very clear, very clean. It's a waffle texture dial, even though it looks super complex. But I love what the hands do. You've got Dauphine style hands, then you've got these blued hands on the sub dials, on that center hand as well. Just let me take you through this quickly, and I never get bored of this. So that function there will take that hand that you see moving to the date complication. It also has the leap year in there, also the month. So you follow the moon basically, and that moon is taking you now to the leap year you're in, the actual day. As well as that, it's a perpetual calendar, so the calendar is timed in here. It's been programmed to the year 2100. So well after we'll be gone that are watching this, this watch should continue to keep time. You don't have to actually touch this. It'll keep the date, leap year, everything in there. Now, as far as complications go, that is amazing, and which is why I love this watch. Now, you can also set the watch to a chronograph, so everything resets, and again, that's just an event on its own. Then you just use it as a chronograph. Now, when you set it back to let's see what it is now. So if you set it back to your normal day complications, whatever you had, all the subdials turn and change. They change to the day, whatever alarm setting you got, or a secondary time zone, and then everything just switches back. It's a very nice watch. I just love the complications of the dial. It's got your standard kind of bracelet, nothing too special there. But again, the crazy thing for me was this watch was so damn cheap, and August was selling these for under £150 about 2 years ago. So for the amount of watch you get, just from a Quartz complication point of view, it's crazy. So I really love that watch. Now moving on to, yes, the BFK. So you guys know about this. Again, I reviewed this, the ultimate beta watch as far as beta watches go, especially in Seiko's collection. It's a kinetic powered watch, which is basically a quartz movement with a rotor. I don't understand why they did this. You have to keep this on in order for it to work. The capacitor does last a while. However, if the watch doesn't get any charge, it just dies. So it has to be maintained. You have to wear it all the time, which again reinforces the beta statement. But this is a very unique colorway. It's the PVD black with the cork bezel, with that yellow seconds hand, and these are really nice. The bezel on is fantastic, amazing lume, proper ISO certified diver. Yeah, just a very big, hefty watch. You could throw this at people, honestly, for self-defense. So we'll keep that there. I mean, I need to change the capacitor, but I'm not gonna yet because I'm not gonna really wear it. So I've just got it there, just sitting there as a collectible. Moving on, next is some older watches, and on my previous state of the collections, I've shown these before. So these are the Daytonas from Seiko. So let's start off with the Mark 1. This recently had a battery change, and it is working perfectly fine. Chronograph, it's got a dive bezel as well. 5 crown setup, so quite the older movement as well, and the condition is okay considering how old it is. I mean, the bezel insert could do with replacing, but you really can't get them. So it's a nice watch. I've got it on a NATO, as you can see, a bond style one, elasticated. So yeah, lovely watch. I just love the looks of it, how rugged it looks. It's a very masculine watch as well. I love the case shape, and again, that character, you'll notice that in all the pieces I've got, they just got loads of it. There's It's quite unique, and the newer watches just don't do it for me at all. I mean, sure, they do look nice, but they just don't have this. Then I've got the Mark II, which is more or less exactly the same, but it just has I think it's got a different movement, but it only has 3 crowns as opposed to the 5. So this one actually came with the original bracelet. Yeah, beat it up, but again, doesn't get much weight. Does get it from time to time though, and very accurate movements. These are very accurate. So next up, everyone knows what this is, the Flighty with a yellow seconds hand. Don't need to say much about this watch. I mean, when they got discontinued, the SKX 007 syndrome started happening to these started skyrocketing to around £400, which is ridiculous. They have since then come down, and there's some very interesting and very expensive color options as well. There's a white and blue one, which sells for like £500-600. I've seen it, which is again ridiculous. But the thing with this is that crystal on there, that domed mineral glass. Again, that deep black dial, get all them complications. It just looks amazing to look at. And that seconds hand, that yellow one, again, stunning. And coming up to some of the newer acquisitions that I've got myself basically. So I think I got this one first. This is the Seiko Quartz SQ. And what really, set this off was the case shape, like that PRX style with the integrated bracelet. It's very small, it's like 35mm, very light. The quartz on it is reasonably accurate as well. And I like this sort of pinhole texturing on the dial. And it's a very nice shade of blue. So I picked this one up, wasn't expensive. And again, when it comes to sell it, I'm going to get £20-30 for it, so I'd rather just keep it. The bracelet on it is very nice, very comfortable, and does really give you that vintage feel on wrist. So soon after that, I got myself an all gold Datejust style with that all black enamel dial. Looks awesome on wrist. Honestly, full gold watch. I think everyone needs one, whether it's a G-Shock or something like a Seiko or a Citizen, but you do need a full gold dress watch. It does look good, and I think darker skin tones, it does suit a bit better. So this I absolutely love. Condition on it is pretty good. It has been refinished, anything like that. The crystal's okay, and the movement functions as it should. So again, one of the pieces that I really like. So the last one, I might actually make a video on this. I recently bought this. This is called the Seiko Majestic, or the Majesta. Just check it out, guys. My first rectangular style watch. Crazy facets on there. Brushed, polished. Again, that integrated bracelet. Very fine links on there. It's got this clasp that you don't need to adjust the bracelet basically. And it's a stunning watch. And just check that dial out, guys. Look at that. It's called a rice paper dial, but I believe this watch, I mean, it's easily got the characteristics of like a snowflake. You could definitely build up on that and make a snowflake what it is, because it's got this texturing in there which you do see on snowflake dials. But very nice looks. I mean, date I could do without. However, it's on there. It's very thin. It's around 35mm, 36 perhaps. Fits so good. I love wearing this watch, and that this is my go-to watch on a daily basis. So much so I have to put it away. So I'd really like everything about it, and it wasn't too expensive. It was around £150 mark, I think, or 130, 140, something like that. But in my opinion, definitely worth it, because the watch looks stunning. The only thing with this one, it has been refinished on where the brush sides are. It's a bit of a poor job because the grain is all over the place. So if I can, I'll try and get that redone. But you got the polished sides, which are okay. Crystal's immaculate as well. So that's a really nice watch. And this is my full collection of Quartz watches. So I'll fill up the bottom drawer of my watch box, and then I'll come back with a part 2 of the state of the collection, and then finish it off with the part 3, guys. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments section if you want to know any more information about any of these that you've seen, and I'll see you on the next video.